Many years ago, Fred and Paul did a series of features called Weird Weather Tales. And with Halloween approaching, I thought I'd play off that with some weird weather clouds. Some so odd-looking that it's hard to believe they're just water and ice, sculpted by waves of air under unusual atmospheric conditions. I'll start with KelvinHelmholtz Clouds, also called billow clouds, that look like a surfer's dream. Indeed, they're really just breaking atmospheric waves. Though photogenic from ground level, these clouds mean trouble for airplanes because they're usually a sign of extreme turbulence, the kind that forms when a fast-moving layer of fluid slides on top of a slower, thicker layer, dragging its surface. Now, in the ocean, the top fluid is the air, the bottom fluid the water. In the atmosphere, it's two vertically adjacent layers of air moving at different speeds, what we meteorologists call vertical wind shear. These clouds typically don't last long, and when the difference in speeds between the two layers gets large enough, the wave crests lurch forward and the waves break. The swirls in Vincent van Gogh's masterpiece, The Starry Night, may have been inspired by these clouds. Next, how about the clouds most frequently mistaken for UFOs because they often look like flying saucers? These are called lenticular clouds, and they form when moist air is forced to rise by a mountain in an atmosphere that's stable, that is, resistant to upward motion. The result can be eerie, elliptically shaped clouds over the mountain that linger as long as the rising air streams are moist enough. If a layer of dry air sneaks in between layers of moist air, lenticular clouds can form one on top of another, resembling a stack of pancakes. Now, because of the underlying stability of the atmosphere, the air that creates lenticular clouds sinks on the other side of the mountain, but it can remember its wavy past and keep oscillating downwind of the mountain, creating a line of lenticular clouds that develop on the upswing and diminish on the downswing. Finally, no rundown of weird-looking clouds would be complete without mentioning Mammatus Clouds, which droop like pouches from the underside of other clouds, usually thunderstorms. Mammatus are a rare example of clouds that form in sinking air, and they get their name from the resemblance to the bag-like sacs that hang beneath a cow's udder. One explanation for these clouds is that they form in moist parcels of air with a high concentration of precipitation particles. Being loaded with water and ice makes the air a bit heavier, so it sinks into a layer of drier air below. But when air sinks, it warms, and some of that heat helps to melt the ice or evaporate the water. The bigger the drops and ice crystals were to start, the more the Mammatus clouds can droop, and the longer they can last. All of these clouds can be seen from time to time in Pennsylvania, though you're probably least likely to see truly spectacular lenticular clouds here, simply because the mountains aren't high enough. Stay tuned. The extended forecast is next.